Howdy, my friends. I want to talk to you about something that happened while I was out here on this excursion. I'm going to try and get in better focus here, better vision for you guys. Um, you can see I have my clamshell grill fired up. Um, going to try and enjoy a cold snack. Something happened to me a little while ago that was, it was, in a way, it was very cool. In a way, it was very depressing. And so I am out here in, what's this place called? Bone Creek Recreation Area. It's in Holt, Florida. Um, I did a video here a little while ago. It's a little breezy. I'm hoping that the configuration of this camera, where my microphone is, it's going to eliminate some of the wind sound. So we're going to try and get after it. But I thought parts of that video were very good, so I'm going to probably have to edit it. But it was weird. After I finished my journey, my trek, there's a walking trail, hiking trail, and somebody pulled up next to me. It was really weird. It was, you never know what you're going to encounter when you're outdoors or, in a weird, I don't know, if I had to guess, there's at least 20 to 30 parking spots. Somebody pulls up right next to me. I see their window go down, and the guy starts talking to me about the fishing, and I explained to him I was new to the region. I don't know. I'm exploring this area for the first time. But we get talking, and I love the smell of this. This is I got my hickory chunks on here, and it's going to be good. So I'm going to tell you, I had to improvise. I tried to get two chicken leg quarters where I work. We sell them really cheap, and when I got there, they were out of them. So I had to improvise, and I got some chicken thighs. The chicken leg quarters would have been like two of them for like $2 or whatever. So I got the chicken thighs, probably, I'm guessing, 6 of them for about $3.50. That's probably a good price in different regions. But I'm always trying to save a nickel, you know what I mean? But so this guy pulls up next to me, starts talking to me about fishing, and I don't know, the guy was a talker. The guy was definitely a talker. I don't mean this as a slight or an insult or anything, but the guy was very redneck, very almost like Cajun-like, so to speak. We're not that far from Cajun country, where I'm currently located. And the guy was really, really nice guy. And but turns out he has been affected traumatically. I think he said since 2008 by PTSD, because he's a disabled American veteran that served our country as part of the United States Army. So he shared a lot, man. He shared a lot. We were talking and we were talking, and he just kind of, once he started talking, I just let him talk. You know what I mean? And then when there was a break in the opportunity, I kind of started talking to him about Reads Across America and Mission 22 and the Lee and Betty Johnson charity. Just kind of like what that represents and stuff like that. But he told me a lot of stuff, and he told me some stuff. I don't know how to say. I can say this eloquently, but basically, he was a real good candidate for Mission 22, and so we were talking for a while, talking for a little while, and then I told him, after what the project is, what the project represents, the charity represents. Now it's encompassing 2 organizations, how they intertwine together. Would you be interested in doing an interview? And he absolutely not. He held his head down, like almost in shame, and but he continued sharing. So, like, I feel like we have developed a bond of trust, and he had no problem sharing. He told me a lot about his military family, about some divorces in his family, parts of the family, just a lot of stuff. It was just weird, just to meet a stranger at first you don't know if what's going on, if there's going to be some criminal activity, are you going to be a victim of a crime? And then you feel like you're developing a bond where I felt in a weird way like I was put in this place at this particular time to perhaps be a resource for this individual. My life's not perfect, and I hope the sound is okay. His life is not perfect. He's told me a lot about his life, but we did swap phone numbers. What I want to do is reach out to him perhaps tomorrow. I actually was planning on fishing at this location here today. I wanted to film it, but it was so darn windy. Now it's starting to get windy again, so the sound quality may not be great on this video, but if you can hear me in any aspect of this way, I still want to release this because this message is very important. The wind is kind of swirling, so I thought I had it configured where it wouldn't be affecting the sound, but this may be a big waste of time. But he told me a lot, and he told me about a lot of fishing locations, but he was so excited. I felt like he was so excited to talk to a new friend. I don't know his lifestyle, if he isolates himself, but he was telling me a lot in a short period of time. So I feel it's my obligation to touch base with him again and make sure, he's okay. And I told him a couple times before we left, I said, man, if you ever need anything, you got a problem, at least text me. I can't promise you anything, but you got my number, man. Just at least talk to me. So I gave him some worms that I was going to use for fishing today. He was really seeking catfish. He was going to go to another location. He tried to invite me to that location, but I knew I had other obligations today as far as YouTube, my friendship network, and I just needed to get some things accomplished. I really, honestly needed some peace and tranquility. So I had this clamshell grill cooking. I got the hickory. You can see the hickory's blazing. That's exactly how I like it. I'm going to be doing a video in the future talking about different types of wood products used for different types of meats. So if you like that, you like cooking on the grill, whether it's pellets, chunks, chips, whatever it is, you may want to stay tuned to the channel because we're going to try and bring you something, I'm not going to call it epic, but something informative. You know what I mean? Like something, some people may not know that you could use a different type of wood for fish, chicken, like chicken is obviously a poultry product, meat, pork, what have you. But anyway, so I almost wanted to leave, but I knew I had more goals in mind. I really wanted to cook a nice meal it's not a nice, I'm not going to call it a nice meal, but I do want to do some sweet baby rays on my chicken thighs. I'm trying to have a good time, with the little bit of availability that I do have. But I feel like meeting this guy today, it kind of gave me purpose, like it's hard enough taking care of myself, but now I feel like it's almost my responsibility to check on this guy from time to time. You know what I mean? And then maybe one day we'll develop a trust where he would do an interview. It doesn't have to be like he could be blacked out. He could be. I can just point it at the ground. Point it at another object and just let him verbally tell his story. But he had an interesting story, man. I'm telling you, it was just, he told me about all the medications he was forced to be on, all the attempts, let me clarify that. He told me about attempts to end his life, struggles with his divorce, his ex-spouse being addicted to drugs, trying to raise a good child that was apparently an honor student and had a really good future, but got affected and involved with the mother's impact in her life. And it was not in a positive way. But, this is all based upon his sharing. But man, it's like, whew, like I'm starting to feel like my life has a purpose. You know, a couple weeks ago, I talked to you. You know, what is my purpose in life? And I feel like gradually, Tish Ross, if you're watching this, Mike Ross, or any other folks out there, I almost feel like it's somebody sending me a message, right? Like I feel like they're gradually some pieces are falling together, and maybe I just didn't see the big picture before. I don't know, but I know that I can't handle much more adversity that's going to affect my mentality, my stability, my mental and human growth as an individual. So I feel like this guy almost needed a friend. I don't know much about the guy. I really don't. But he shared a lot in a little bit of time, and I feel it's very relevant, not relative, relevant is what I meant to say, to the Lee and Betty Johnson charity. Sometimes I call it a foundation. I apologize for saying that. It's the Lee and Betty Johnson charity, and it encompasses the Mission 22 and Reefs Across America. If you do not understand what either of those projects represent, I encourage you to do the research. Uh, Reefs Across America helps give honor and dignity to fallen veterans that are in cemeteries across the globe. You know, most of the efforts are in the United States, and but it's a global enterprise that it's a global foundation, charity, whatever, to help those veterans with dignity. And then Mission 22 is basically it reaffirms, it brings notoriety to the fact that approximately 22 veterans a day self-terminate their lives due to PTSD or just stress, trauma, trying to readjust to the what once was their normal United States society, their American society. So I just wanted to share that story. Man, I wanted to share more than I wanted to share what he was saying, but it was important to protect his dignity, his pride, and his willingness to share to a total stranger. And maybe one day he'll open up. We'll be friends and we'll talk about it. We'll go catfishing. He likes catfishing. He's very much like almost like I don't know where the guy was born. Like I said, we didn't talk that long, but he reminds me of very much of like a Cajun type character. Uh, really nice guy. Just he was willing to share a lot of fishing spots, but he shared them so rapidly I couldn't keep up, and I was more interested in learning about his health and welfare, and so I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Um, and I'm always trying to how can I do better? How can I be a better person? And I feel like today I was in the right place at the right time. It may not be for today's purposes, perhaps in a week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month, whatever. I even told him, if if I ever get lucky financially, there's people out there I want to reward and try and help out, and so if we stay in contact and we're still, we're still doing our best, he's a guy I would love to have on the radar to help financially, and I'm not going to change his life, but if I could give him a few bucks to pay his electric bill or do something positive in his life, maybe get him a new fishing rod and reel or whatever, that's what I want my life to be about. I want to be about giving, paying forward. You can talk about it or you can be about it. I want to be about it, but unfortunately I can't be about it until I have it. But so I just wanted to share that story today, folks. And hey, thanks. I thank you all for tuning in. It's half-ass setup. It's kind of what we do. We're all on the run. We're just trying to get by. But hey, thanks for tuning in. And get a chance, go over to @JJ Drones and learn a little bit about the Lee and Betty Johnson charity. It's also on Facebook. It's a nonprofit organization. It's going to be doing great things this year, and people have already started contributing financially for those causes. So if you want to be part of something special, I suggest that one. Thanks a lot, folks. Talk to you next time. Next adventure. Never know where we're going to be.